Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to talk a bit about Gilead again and remdesivir, and more about the business side of developing a COVID-19 therapeutic. So this is perhaps a window into the future. So the news I want to talk about today is the news that Gilead is giving up or revoking Orphan Drug designation for its drug remdesivir. Recap: remdesivir is the most advanced antiviral drug specifically for COVID-19 in clinical trials. We're expecting the first kind of robust data in April from China, and there are also clinical trials of this drug going on across the world. So Gilead is likely to be the first company to get a drug specifically approved, and I think out of all of the drugs that are being in clinical trials at the moment, remdesivir is the one with the most hope attached to it and its likelihood for demonstrating a good clinical response. So what's Orphan Drug? Why is Gilead giving it up? Orphan drug designation is like a perk that regulators can give to a drug, which gives it certain financial benefits. So Gilead is foregoing a period of 7 years of guaranteed market exclusivity once remdesivir gets to market. So it's reducing the competitive window. It's also foregoing tax incentives. In reality, it probably isn't going to make all that much difference because regulators should and will be bending over backwards in order to get remdesivir into patients as quickly as possible. And then the commercial life cycle of remdesivir, who knows what it's going to be, but whether there's competitors in 7 years' time or 10 years' time or 5 years' time, the immediate need actually is 7 months' time or 7 days' time even. I think this is also a precedent that HIV companies have set as well in foregoing orphan drug designation. So as the prevalence of a disease rises, when Gilead first filed and was granted orphan drug, there was no knowing, this number of patients that would be affected with COVID-19. Typically, orphan drugs, for rare diseases, a rare disease in the US is defined as 200,000 patients. All likelihood means that COVID-19 is going to affect more than 200,000 patients in the US. So it's the right thing to do. Gilead is treading a very fine line between doing everything it can do to save lives and then profiteering or being seen to be profiteering. So I think Gilead's actions are going to be very, very important in how the general public perceives pharma's response to COVID-19. Gilead's certainly not the only company, and it's not going to be the only company that provides the solution, but as the forerunner, its actions will be heavily watched and potentially critiqued. So far, so good. It's doing really, really well, I'd say, from like an ethical point of view. Foregoing orphan drugs, the right thing to do. It's also considerably scaling the manufacturing of this antiviral drug at considerable risk with no guarantee of return. So getting as many patients into expanded access schemes or clinical trials as possible. And also, it's not responding to other companies that are blatantly ripping off its intellectual property by manufacturing their own supply of this drug without a license in countries such as India and China. It's important that companies involved in COVID-19 continue to act as ethically as possible. And there's going to be probably more concessions along the way in order to maintain this image, certainly compared to standard business practices in a normal scenario where biopharma companies are rightfully defending their intellectual property and defending against competitors. What pharma really needs is other bodies such as the regulators, the governments, patent offices to stand up for their interests and fight them, protect them, so companies don't have to make questionable decisions about getting drugs to market, but then also protecting their investments. There is a long list already of people that are very happy to bash on pharma, and what we need at this time is governments and regulators not to join that list. So this is a potential glimpse into what the business of developing a COVID-19 therapeutic might look like. I do hope we can continue this discussion because it means that the pipeline is progressing, and we can say that with confidence that we are going to have drugs approved for this. So yeah, I look forward to kind of exploring how this topic matures. That's all for now, though. Hope you can join us in the future, and take care.